The chat window is the least valuable part of Claude. I'll prove it in 14 minutes. If you've been pasting prompts into a browser tab and calling that automation, you're using maybe 3% of what this model can actually do for your business. In this video, I'm showing you 8 Claude API integrations that triage email, pass invoices, score leads, and book calendar slots without a human touching anything. Most tutorials stop at prompt tricks. I'll show you the wiring. By the end, you'll have a blueprint you can fork this weekend. I'm Lazar. I run these pipelines daily for clients. Let's start with the one nobody builds first. Here's the situation I see every week. A solopreneur or a 5-person agency signs up for Claude Pro, gets impressed by the chat, and then nothing changes in their business. They still spend 2 to 4 hours a day on email. They still hand key invoices. They still chase leads manually. The model is brilliant in the browser tab and completely absent from the actual workflow. That gap between Claude the chatbot and Claude the worker is where every hour of real savings lives. And closing it is not as hard as the YouTube algorithm wants you to believe. You do not need to be a senior engineer. You need 8 specific integration patterns, and you can wire most of them up in N8N or a few Python scripts on a cheap machine. Let me walk you through the exact 8 I deploy for clients in the order I build them. Integration 1 is inbox triage. The pattern is Gmail to Claude to a messaging app like Telegram or Slack. Every 2 minutes, a script pulls unread emails, sends the subject and body to Claude with a classification prompt. Is this a lead, a support request, a vendor invoice, or noise? And then routes it. Real leads get a drafted reply pushed to Telegram where the founder taps approve or edit. Noise gets archived. Invoices get forwarded to integration 2. The founder never opens Gmail to triage again. On a real client mailbox doing around 120 messages a day, this runs on about $14 a month in API costs and replaces roughly 2 hours of inbox work daily. Integration 2 is invoice extraction. PDFs come in. They go to Claude's vision endpoint with a strict JSON schema in the prompt vendor. Date, line items, totals, tax, currency. The structured output goes straight into Postgres or whatever accounting tool the client uses. The trick most tutorials miss is you do not send the raw PDF blindly. You convert to high-resolution images first, you set a temperature of 0, and you give Claude an example of the exact JSON shape you want. Accuracy on real-world messy invoices jumps from around 70% to 94% with that one change. Integration 3 is the daily ops summary. A cron job fires at 7 in the morning. It queries the client's database, new signups, revenue, churn, open support tickets, pipeline movement, packages the numbers into a compact prompt, and Claude writes a 2-paragraph briefing that lands in Telegram before the founder finishes coffee. No dashboard to open. No tab to refresh. Integration 4 is calendar booking via tool use. This is where Claude stops being a writer and becomes an agent. You define a tool, check availability, and book slots, and Claude calls it during a conversation. A lead emails asking for a demo. Claude reads the email, checks the calendar, API, proposes 3 slots, and once the lead picks one, books it and sends confirmations. The founder sees a calendar invite appear. That's it. Integration 5 is lead scoring. Every form submission or cold reply gets enriched. Company size, industry, intent signals from the message. And Claude assigns a score from 1 to 10 with a 1-sentence reason. 10s go straight to the founder's phone. 1s go to a nurture sequence. 3s through 7s go to a sales rep's queue. Integration 6 is follow-up sequencing. Claude reads the last 3 messages in a thread, decides whether to send a bump, a value-add resource, or a breakup email and drafts it. The founder approves once a day in batch. A 3-person agency I worked with cut their follow-up time from 90 minutes a day to about 8. Integration 7 is cost control through model routing. You do not run every call through the most expensive model. Use Haiku for classification, routing, and short structured outputs. Use Sonnet only for the calls that need real reasoning. Drafting replies, summarizing complex threads, handling edge cases. On a workload of around 12,000 API calls a month, splitting the routing this way cuts the bill from roughly $60 to around $18. Same quality on the outputs that matter. Integration 8 is prompt caching. If you have a long system prompt, your tone of voice, your product context, your rules, cache it. Anthropic charges a fraction of the normal rate for cache tokens, and on a high-volume workflow, this alone shaves 30 to 50% off the bill. It is one parameter in the API call. Most people never flip it. Now let me show you what this looks like running. On my screen right now is the Telegram channel for one of these deployments. You can see the 7 a.m. ops summary came in. Below it, 3 drafted email replies waiting for approval. 1 invoice extraction from this morning. Vendor, amount, due date, all passed clean from a scanned PDF. 2 calendar bookings closed overnight while the founder was asleep. The logs on the server show 240 API. Calls in the last 24 hours. Total spend 41 cents. That is the entire operations layer of a small business running on autopilot for less than the cost of a coffee per day. If you want to see real examples of these integrations running for actual clients, head to BizflowAI.io. That's where we publish the systems we ship. While you're here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so the next breakdown finds you instead of you hunting for it. And if you got a workflow eating your week, book a free 30-minute discovery call at BizflowAI.io. We'll map out what's automatable and what isn't. No pitch, just a plan.